everyone. This is Father Bob from our chapel in St. Peter's in the Loop. And I come to you today to offer you some words of encouragement and the message of our founder, Francis of Assisi, particularly through one image that is very important to us. And our little chapel here is very, very quiet and tranquil. We're kind of actually spoiled to be able to have our own chapel. And we do pray, and I have not been to Ascension for 8 days now, but I want you to know that you have never not been remembered in my daily prayers. It's a Lent that we will all remember, certain one not that we asked for, and yet we embrace it with our world and our Lord and with each other. And so what I offer you today is the crucifix of San Damiano. This is the crucifix of San Damiano. It's a large 6-foot life-size imitation that was painted by one of our friars, probably 40 years ago. And it's one of our treasures because this is the crucifix that was painted in the 11th century for the chapel of St. Damian, which is on the mountainside below Assisi, and this is the one that spoke to Francis during his tumultuous years of conversion and said, he heard God say, "Go and rebuild my house because it's falling into ruin." Francis at first thought he meant physically rebuild it, and he did, but eventually came to understand that God was calling him to renew the church with a movement. And certainly, before he died 20 years later, there were 5,000 friars all over Europe, all the way to the Holy Land. Anyway, I want to share this with you, my friends, at Ascension or wherever else you see this, because it is the Christ mystery that all of us are called to live because of our baptism and certainly by the nature of Lent. And so as you see, Christ is crucified, and his hands and his feet are pierced. He is bleeding. He's surrounded by those large standing figures. Mary and John on one side, and on the other side are the other 2 faithful women and one of the centurions. And by each hand are 3 robed figures who are reminiscent of those people in the tomb. In fact, that whole square area and the blackness behind his arms, that is reminiscent of the tomb. The loincloth Jesus is wearing is the undergarments of the high priest of the ancient temple. And the halo on Christ is not a simple halo. This is a crown of glory and victory. And indeed, Christ is crucified, Christ is risen, and if we take a look all the way up, we see Jesus ascending into the white-robed army of heaven, and all the way up to the right hand of the Father that we recite in the Creed. It's truly an amazing work of art. It is the entire Christ mystery in one particular work, and it's known around the world as the Franciscan central icon, and yet at the same time, it is the center of all of Christianity. It is the baptismal realities of Lent, and Lent 2020 is unlike any of us have ever experienced. And I want you to know that we friars pray for you, and I hold you all in my hands and in my heart, because you have given me so much faith that it's not terribly difficult to carry this cross, because I know we're in this together. I know that the Lord has us in his arms and his embrace, and I give you this cross of life and the fullness of the Paschal mystery as a way to make it through these days. I don't know how you do it when you have children at home and trying to school them or trying to whatever. Of course, you should live with 28 men. And, it's challenging already. I said, wow, we put in 8 days. What's going to happen next? But as you see, we have this great and powerful image to remind us of the reality of Jesus, that he died for us, that he rose for us. He was elevated and ascended into heaven, and why it's so significant for me to be with you at Ascension, because that is the fullness of life, our life with God in Christ. So here I am with our great friends, Francis and Claire, my closest friends actually. And to those of you who know Francesco, Paolo, and Luca from Assisi and Perugia, and also from Ascension, they send their greetings. They and all their babies and their wives are okay. Luca said this is like living in a horror movie, but they are okay and healthy. So, as we say in Italy, Il Signore ti dia la pace. May the Lord give you peace.